Good morning. Thank you for coming. We'll keep this a little loose, but definitely safe. So out of the gate this morning, we're gonna do some pistol work. We'll work on that out on the range. We've got Mr. Deyo here and his crew, Scott and Joel. Dang it, I was close. So if one of us gets shot, these are the men that are gonna save us. But nobody's gonna get shot. We've got 2 hospital choices. I sent this to you, so you can take your pick depending on who's bleeding. You got level 3 trauma, 55 minutes away. Look at you, you're like, I don't need shit.
No, what I do have is a radio directly to the helicopter that we would land. If it was something. Calling a 9.
Okay.
If anybody gets a little cut, then they can drive the 50.
So if we got a little cut or something like that, we'll deal with that kind of stuff. We're gonna be super safe today. Does anybody that's here, and it's okay to be honest, because that's why we're here, is to learn and grow. If you don't have a lot of experience doing any of this stuff, it's best that we talk about that now. Thank you for that, because then we'll pay extra attention. And the fun thing about like any of this training is that we're gonna push ourselves to whatever our personal limits are. So like if you're like a dude with knee pads sewn on your pants and you have tanks in your backyard, or if you're a guy that was a Green Beret, or a dude that's got oversized muscles and a pit bull everywhere he goes, and then tries to wear glasses that make him look like he's not that guy. But the point is that we want to go to like whatever our level is, and that has to be done safely. Cecilia brought up a great point a moment ago, talking about what's beyond this here. If any of you ever pull up to a range like this, and this is what it looks like, I wouldn't shoot if you don't know what's beyond those trees. This sounds like common sense, but people are gonna watch the videos that we pump out here. So everybody needs to know that there's 3 miles of private forest back there. So for us to hurt somebody, we'd need to get bigger guns than we have here, because nothing's shooting 3 miles and still having any efficacy. We're not gonna raise our muzzles though over the heads of any of these targets out here, just because it's a good practice. Finger, trigger discipline, right? We're gonna be working on that. You may hear me or one of the other guys who, we've got Mike Levy here, Z, Don, and later on, Al should be out here. One of us may say something to you. And there's plenty of you out here with plenty of experience. What we don't want to do, because a lot of us have some level of experience, is turn this into a circle jerk where we're all checking out each other's guns, giving a bunch of pointers. If I'm talking, I'm talking. If he's talking, he's talking. When Don's talking, you're tracking. Because otherwise we're gonna end up killing a bunch of time, and we can do that later while we're drinking. These guns are gonna be loaded while we're out here. All of us carry a gun or work with a gun, so we're not gonna have rules that you're unloading off the line. So once we get you loaded, you're gonna be on your own, which is okay, we're all adults. But any gun handling, I don't wanna see people back here. I don't wanna hear slides jacking and racking. Now that we're training, that's done down here. Some range etiquette, which we'll go over when we're down there, but I'm gonna just say it now. When you're not shooting and we're on the line, just simply this or this or this. I don't want you guys chatting with each other and finger guns and magazines while we're on the line, because we're all gonna have ear pro on. We're not gonna be able to hear each other, and you don't know what's going on. Can I see your cert, please? Simple things when we're on the line. Different guys get comfortable the more you're exposed to this stuff, and that level of comfort is what causes people sometimes to get shot. So I'm muzzling you with a cert gun. You guys all know this is just an inert training tool. Simple things like when we drop something on the ground and we're training and you guys are downrange now, we'll just leave it until we're done, unless there is some drill or course of fire that we're doing that we are gonna have you purposely pick up something off the deck while you're minding the muzzle. We don't want to do that, because if like Talon, and you guys have all probably heard this, but we're doing it because it's safe, Talon is going to pick up his stuff. Go ahead, please. And I'm doing shit with my gun. Now we can all see that Talon is inadvertently in the line of my muzzle. You may hear us say index or locator or trigger finger or dumb told you 10 times. My friend Sang will walk around with a Sharpie and write on your finger. I don't think we're going to have a lot of problems with this, but this is how people get shot. I can point this at you, and if I don't pull the trigger, you're not gonna get shot. And I can pull the trigger, and if I'm not pointing it at you, I'm just gonna look stupid, right? I think sometimes like these safety discussions can get exorbitant. Don't point the thing at anything that you don't wanna make a hole in, and keep your finger off the trigger. I don't like to say until you're on the target, because we may do some drills later where you're shooting from here, or we're prepping the gun till you're intending to shoot, till the muzzle's pointing in a direction that if the gun discharges, nobody's gonna get hurt. So right out of the gate, we're gonna work on just some basic pistol manipulations. Not for a long time, 20 minutes or so. Wanna make sure everybody's doing the right things, and it's not right the way Mickey says to do it. There's many ways to do things, and you guys may, even some of you very experienced people, if every time you're training, you're not picking up something, like I learned stuff from people that have never touched a gun. Like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool the way that guy did that. Or his question was profound, I've never thought about something like that. So if we're paying attention, we get to pick up on that kind of stuff. But we want to make sure that the repetitions that we're going to expend for hours the next 2 days are done correctly. Because you can train 10 hours a day, but if you're training shit, what do you get? Shit, a bunch of shit. You've got really good at performing shit. To me, I think that before you train, the physical skills, whatever they are, shooting or reloading or dealing with a medical issue under fire, you got to get your mind in a position that you're gonna learn. And for us men, it's our ego that us every single time. And if you can't admit that, then you got an ego problem. Would anybody disagree with that? So if we're not able to screw up, not in an unsafe manner, but like, okay, I'm gonna try, and if it doesn't work out perfectly, that's okay, I'll try again. And a lot of this stuff, there is no perfect performance. This isn't the Olympics or something where there's dudes holding up scorecards. Did the hole appear where you wanted it to appear? Did you not shoot yourself or anybody else? That's, for the most time, like a pretty good way of looking at it. Let's check the egos. Let's be in a position mentally where we want to take in the information. I personally have a problem where I show up, like Mike might be talking and I'd be like, that's so stupid, I would never do it like he does. For real. And so I purposely will like try to empty my mind out and, all right, what's he saying? Why is he saying that? And soak the stuff in and try to push out what you think you already know. Empty the cup, so to speak. Make sense? Questions? Who has seen Drew's helmet?
Everybody knows.
Take a good look at
Pretty
it.
amazing.
That's impressive.
Redo my shot, Mickey.
I thought my setup was good.
Yeah. This is, Drew worked hard on this. He's got audio recording on top. So why don't we do this, guys? Eyes, ears, your eye protection should be all the way around. If you do not have side protection, I probably don't want you shooting at steel later. Because while you might be staring at it, we're talking, moving around. I got hit here a couple months ago. Yeah, it was a big chunk of lead, man. And I'm like, you know, like, that's like bits right there that you don't want holes in. I got hit in the forehead a couple weeks ago, or like last week, right? These are still, it looks like a little pimple. A big chunk of lead whacked me right on top of my glasses. So, yeah, eyesight's pretty cool. I'm blind in one eye. So I like to make sure that my shit's wrapped up. Over the course of the next 2 days, we're gonna try to cover a bunch of stuff. The idea with this whole event, if you haven't figured it out, is that we're gonna have fun. We're gonna learn some stuff from people that maybe you wouldn't have the exposure to because of geographic limitations, and forge some new relationships. And then of course, all these awesome sponsors that we'll talk about tonight and today made it all happen. So we've got some of those dudes here. Some of them are training with us. We'll talk and meet and have fun with that stuff later, so thank you. Ready, set, go. Start shooting. No, don't.
So guys, just on the medical side, I know we touched on it a little bit. We're actually really fortunate to have one of the deputies out here locally that knows the whole area and has.
Oh, I didn't know this was a deputy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we just, in case you need to arrest anybody, there were any warrants, he's running it right now to make sure. So.
That's you, Scott?
So if anything does happen, we're really fortunate that we have, God forbid it was a serious thing that needed to go to the trauma center, we can actually get that to happen, and they could even land out here.
Perfect.
In the back of the black truck right there, I'm gonna bring it around so it's sitting here. There's a big orange case, big Pelican case. It's the kits that we pack out for ranges, but all kinds of stuff. There's a 45-minute oxygen bottle in there. There's from tourniquets to Tylenol to whatever. So, you know, if it starts hurting, right, it's kind of making your day suck ass, there's stuff in here to use. God forbid we have something worse than that, there's plenty of shit. Everybody's got plenty of kit. We got a defibrillator out here and everything. I mean, I'm just saying, we're set up. If anybody needs anything, just ask, you know.
Sweet.
Step off the line, do the right thing, and say, hey, because been in a lot of places where there's like no medical shit and something happens and it's not a good thing. So just ask if you need something. We have plenty of those. So we could take volunteers for tomorrow.
On that note, does anybody have any kind of medical issues? Vaginitis?
Diabetes, heart problems, severe allergic reaction to like bees, wasps, anything.
Snakes.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably have a reaction to chest super allergic.
Good? All right, we'll get out on the range about 8-10 yards. We'll have a little quick chit chat. We'll try some shit. All right, most of what we know nowadays on how we hold a pistol is not new. I think it's new to law enforcement, it's new to the military, new in like the last 15, 20 years, and new to many like average shooters. When I started shooting a pistol 15, 16 years ago, there was one guy within like 500 miles that you could pay to take a class with. His name's Bob Housingay. Bob was a 6-time national pistol champ. And if you guys ever heard of Mas Ayub, who's like probably one of the most renowned self-defense authors alive today, Bob wrote most of the pistol training for Mas. And I drive, he's a police chief in Iowa. I drive out and I would train with those guys.